Welcome to this explainer. Every single day, we're all interacting with this kind of invisible web of rules and rights. Today, we're going to unpack the absolute foundational concepts of what it actually means to be an active part of a functioning society. We're diving right into our source material to decode this web and really discover how our everyday individual actions end up shaping the entire community around us.
Okay, so let's kick this off with a simple moral test. It's straight from our source material's Gear Up exercise, and I love it because it asks a super straightforward but deeply revealing question. Imagine you're just walking through the market, right? And you spot a wallet lying there on the ground. What would you do? Like, honestly, do you just ignore it? Do you actually try to track down the owner? Maybe hand it over to the authorities? Well, this everyday scenario perfectly sets the stage for everything we're about to talk about. Your gut instinct in this exact situation, it speaks volumes about your internal compass and how connected you feel to the people around you.
So, to explore all these connections, here's our roadmap for today. We're going to cover 1. The foundation of civics, 2. Developing your civic sense, 3. Duties of a good citizen, 4. Elections and voting power, and finally, 5. Protecting our shared spaces.
All right, let's start right at the bedrock with Section 1, the foundation of civics.
So, our source material clearly defines civics for us. Technically, it's the branch of social studies dealing with the rights and duties of a citizen. But honestly, it goes way beyond just our personal obligations. It also tells us about how the government actually functions, what our relationship with that government looks like, and how we can practically participate in shaping it. It's not just, memorizing abstract government operations from afar. It's about truly understanding your specific, guaranteed freedoms, your rights, and then balancing those with your personal duties. Because that balance, that's what ensures everyone else gets to enjoy those exact same freedoms.
And that brings us perfectly to what a citizen actually is. A citizen is simply a person who belongs to a particular country, whether you were born there or accepted there legally. And with this officially recognized legal status comes a whole shared set of rules. Why? To maintain peace and order and to make sure everyone is treated equally. Basically, if you obey these laws and do your duties, you're officially considered a good citizen. It's that simple.
Moving out from just the individual, we hit Section 2, developing your civic sense.
The texts point out this fundamental truth that we kind of forget sometimes. Humans are naturally dependent social beings. We literally live in groups, and we rely on each other for all sorts of things every single day. Because of this, we need something called civic sense. Now, civic sense is basically the awareness that makes someone a responsible citizen. It's what helps you realize your moral and social duties towards society and your country. Honestly, for any society to run smoothly, it is absolutely critical for the people in it to have mutual respect, a sense of responsibility, and a crystal clear understanding of their duties to one another.
But here's the catch. This theoretical sense absolutely has to translate into daily practical actions. Having civic sense isn't just some nice state of mind. It actually looks like something in the real world. It's following traffic rules so everyone gets home in one piece. It means keeping your neighborhood and public spaces clean. It's showing basic respect to others, no matter who they are. And yeah, it's something as incredibly simple as throwing your garbage into a dustbin instead of just tossing it on the street. Those tiny, practical steps, that is civic sense in action.
Let's see how this all builds up into our formal obligations in Section 3, Duties of a Good Citizen.
Our sources outline what I like to call the essential toolkit of a good citizen. A responsible citizen has a variety of social and moral responsibilities that literally keep a country healthy. We're talking about respecting national symbols like the flag and the anthem. You need to pay taxes regularly, vote responsibly during elections, preserve public property, meticulously follow the rules and regulations, and of course, conserve the environment. It's a pretty comprehensive list, right? But it perfectly bridges the gap between what you do individually and the overall well-being of the nation.
Now, you probably noticed paying taxes is right there on that list. Taxes can seem super confusing or overwhelming, but the source text breaks it down beautifully. A tax is just a specific amount of money collected by the government for the services it provides. We're just talking about our collective contribution to fund the shared services that we all rely on every single day. I mean, things like public transport, the roads we drive on, and the public schools that educate our kids. We all chip in.
And speaking of government services, let's look at how we actually empower the leaders who manage them in Section 4, Elections and Voting Power.
So how exactly do we get these leaders who manage our taxes and our laws? Well, through elections. The text defines an election as the process by which we select our leaders through voting. Now, in a vast country like India, which our source uses as its primary context, citizens elect their leaders to form the government for both the country as a whole and for individual states. A leader is the person responsible for the well-being of society, the one making the laws and policies. Therefore, an election is literally the fundamental process where citizens get to make their voices heard.
And notice this very specific number, 18. This is a massive milestone H. According to our source material, all citizens above the age of 18 officially have the right to vote. It is deeply, deeply important for every single citizen who hits this milestone to actually go out and exercise that right. Because think about it, choosing a leader is how we participate in the very formation of the government that impacts our daily lives.
Now, to make sure this massive democratic process actually runs efficiently across the entire country, we have to look at another super important number, 1950. Specifically, January 25th, 1950. This is the pivotal year the Election Commission of India was formed. Situated in New Delhi, this organization is solely responsible for conducting elections across the country. They're the ones ensuring that the incredible, sprawling power of the voting public is organized, completely fair, and legally sound.
All right, for our final section, we're going to zoom all the way out to our physical environment. Section 5, Protecting Our Shared Spaces.
Let's explore how all of this builds our understanding of the spaces right outside our doors. The texts draw a really sharp line between two types of property. Private properties are places or buildings owned by individuals or cooperatives. So like the house or apartment you live in, you have the total right to use it, occupy it, or sell it. But on the flip side, public properties are owned and taken care of by the government. Why? Because they were built specifically for the use and benefit of all people. We're talking railways, buses, government hospitals, and the big takeaway here is that just as fiercely as we protect our own private homes, we really need to extend that exact same protection to our shared public spaces.
This stunning image of the Red Fort in Delhi is a perfect reminder that public property isn't just buses, bridges, and local parks. It includes irreplaceable national heritage. Some public properties in India are incredibly old and hold immense historical value. Monuments like the Red Fort, the Taj Mahal, and the Victoria Memorial, yes, they're looked after by the government, but they truly belong to the legacy of the people. They're ours.
And because these sites are so incredibly valuable, the Archaeological Survey of India, or the ASI, is a government organization specifically tasked with their protection, maintenance, and restoration. And restoration is no joke. It's a massive attempt to save these buildings from complete destruction so they look exactly the way they did when they were first built. But unfortunately, many people can be pretty careless and ignorant. They actually deface these ancient monuments with careless scribbling and littering. So while government organizations are out there trying their best to save these historic buildings, ultimately it is our duty as citizens to keep them clean and preserve them for future generations. We have to do our part.
So I'm going to leave you with this final thought today. Next time you're out, just look around your own neighborhood. The roads, the local parks, the public spaces you use. Who is actually supposed to maintain them? And maybe more importantly, are you doing your part as a good citizen to keep them clean and protected? Honestly, ask yourself, how strong is your civic sense truly today?